What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. UFC 306 or UFC Noche just went down last Saturday, and today we're going to be going over the main event and giving you a little recap on my thoughts about what went down in this main event. And what went down was an utter ass beating by Merab, an utter ass beating of epic proportions, not just physically but mentally too. I mean, Sean O'Malley looked like he was mentally dejected and broken after the first round. It was an embarrassing performance for him. But let's start round one, kind of round five. You know, a lot of them are pretty similar. I mean, Merab in the first round gets a takedown easily, and I picked Sean O'Malley to win this fight second round TKO. I thought Sean was going to be able to use his counter strike and his movement to evade Merab's takedowns enough that he was, to the point where he was able to counter Merab and put him down. But I knew if Merab got this past the second round, there's a chance O'Malley could win a decision, small chance. But if this goes past the second round, Merab probably guaranteed has this in the bag. And that's exactly what happened. And it's not even just that Merab started winning after the second round. He won every single round besides the fifth, but we'll get to that. First round, Merab takes him down with ease, starts beating him up. O'Malley just really isn't throwing anything. Lands a couple like nice body shots, but nothing. Merab's not feeling them really at all. And in the beginning of the fight, it was crazy because I don't know how to say his, I forgot his last name for something like that. But Sean O'Malley's coach starts talking to Merab, kind of, similar, I guess, what he was doing to Eljo. And Merab just starts pulling it at him, looking at him, probably telling him, like, fuck you, bitch, like, fuck off. Like, it was hilarious. Like, I've never seen that happen before. It was hilarious. And I think O'Malley's coach, I think Merab, obviously it looks like he was going to win this fight either way, but what are you doing, man? Why are you why are you, like, going after a guy like Merab like that? Why are you doing that? Why would you even consider pissing off a wild man like Merab? Why would you do that? O'Malley's coach is an absolute moron. And Merab, after that, got even more angry and literally was talking shit to Sean O'Malley for 5 straight rounds. 5 straight rounds. He dominates, gets him down the first round, beats him up. Second round, basically more of the same, just clearly wins these rounds. You go to the third round, is able to take him down, landing great knees. O'Malley's able to hit a couple decent shots at the end of the third round, which is, I guess, probably gives some O'Malley fans confidence, but it's still just the same thing. Clear round 3 to Merab. The fourth round happens. Just domination, just taking him down. Sean O'Malley in all these rounds are frozen on the feet. He's so afraid of getting taken down. And Merab, when he gets him down, is landing damage. He's not only just holding him down, he's also hitting him with shots. And he's not getting hit at all in the stand-up. O'Malley was frozen in the stand-up. You go to the fifth round, similar domination from Merab in all the same ways he's been doing all fight. But then you get O'Malley lands a really good teep kick that hurts the body of Merab. Actually hurts him. And, O'Malley keeps, spamming teep kicks after teep kicks. I don't know why he didn't go try and, while Merab was distracted, guarding his body and stuff. Why did O'Malley not rush in and try and, knock his head off? I don't know what O'Malley was thinking this fight, to be honest. And it's like, O'Malley, at some point, after the first 2 rounds, you gotta eat one to land one. You have to put caution into the win because you're putting caution, you're being cautious right now and you're still getting fucked up. And go and try and knock this guy's head off. I don't know what he was thinking. He looked dejected after round 1. And when Merab got the first takedown so easily, I was watching this and I was like, why did I pick against Merab? I was gonna pick Merab the whole time, but I watched tape, I watched some other stuff, and I'm like, O'Malley really, really can knock him out here. I can just see it happening. But it looks like I was an idiot. 2 main events wrong. I picked Gilbert Burns to beat Sean Brady. That didn't end up well. But I really thought O'Malley was going to put on a better performance. And, my heart wanted Merab to win. I was personally rooting for Merab. But I thought he was going to get countered and knocked out. It didn't happen. And just Merab did what I thought he was going to do up until the day I decided to make the pick. And I gotta stop. I don't know what got into me. I gotta stop doing that because I had this pick right until the final day and I got it wrong. Just unbelievable. Herb Dean also probably had money on O'Malley. Keep telling Merab to work, even though he's literally working. I think it was at the end of the second round. Merab has him in like a headlock and starts like, can't believe I'm saying this, starts even like kissing him, giving him a hickey or something. He's a goofy guy. He's a really goofy guy. And Herb's like, stop. And so Merab walks away because he's thinking it's the end of the round. And O'Malley goes, punches him straight in the back of the head, by the way. Imagine he knocked him out on that shot. Punches him in the back of the head. And we'll get into O'Malley's cheating right now. He's holding the fence in the first round, I believe. He's in the second round. He's grabbing onto the glove. I mean, O'Malley, dude, focus more on trying to knock this guy's head off instead of cheating. I mean, what the hell is this? What is this, O'Malley? Like, come on, man. Man, I know you're getting destroyed by Merab right now, but like, what is this? So hits him in the back of the head. Herb's like, oh, that's your fault. That's your fault, Merab. No, Herb. Don't say stop. There's 10 seconds left in the fight. What do you think Merab's going to think when you say stop and yell it? Like, so Herb was awful. And Merab was kind of circling a bit in the fifth round, and Herb was like, work the whole time, even though O'Malley literally didn't throw at all this fight. But yeah, we're telling Merab to work, even though he's getting every takedown he wants, basically, at least everyone he put effort into, and destroying O'Malley for basically 5 straight rounds. The only round O'Malley won was the 5th. You could still give it to Merab, to be honest, but we'll give O'Malley the 5th. He deserved it. He hurt him with that body shot, so O'Malley won the 5th. I'd score it for him. But these judges also were terrible. When I heard 2 48-47s, I was like, what? How? Like, and I think they both gave O'Malley the 3rd round, which I don't understand that. Yeah, he landed a couple decent shots at the end of the round and lost the 4 minutes, 30 seconds before. Like, what are we doing? Like, how do you score any round for O'Malley other than the 5th? And you could still make a debate that Merab won the 5th. But I agree that the 5th should be scored to O'Malley. It's kind of crazy that O'Malley, out of all rounds O'Malley won, he won the 5th. Man, if that was a Vegas bet, someone would have made a lot of money if they bet that on it, because who would have saw that coming? But Herb Dean was terrible. O'Malley was just really pathetic. And I want to get into O'Malley's resume. Actually, no, we'll save O'Malley's resume. I want to talk about the goddamn champion, Merab Dvalishvili. What a masterclass performance he put. That's one of the most dominant challenger performances I've seen in a long time. I mean, he beat him pillar to post in every facet. He froze him on the feet. He dominated him on the ground. And he was talking smack to his coach and to Sean the entire fight. Maybe not his coach the entire fight, but to Sean O'Malley the entire fight. And when you look at Merab's resume, I was talking about this in my last video, my prediction video, because I was shitting on O'Malley's resume, which we're going to do in a second. I was really hyping up Merab's, even though I picked O'Malley because styles make fights, not just resumes. Maybe I should go off resume a little more, but Merab, you know, he has solid wins like Marlon Moraes, other guys. But then you got to say, when you get into the really, really good wins, Jose Aldo, former champion, Peter Yan, former champion, Henry Cejudo, former champion, and Sean O'Malley, the champion, and he dominated all of these guys. You know, Jose Aldo fight was a little closer, but he still clearly won that. Outside the first round in Cejudo, you know, where he got wobbled, he dominated. He's dominating all these guys. What an amazing resume. And you look at, like, GOAT status at bantamweight. He beats Umar Nurmagomedov and gets another win. I mean, Merab's the GOAT. I mean, seriously, he might just be the GOAT. He has an amazing resume. He's won 11 in a row. He's just an unbelievable, such a unique, unbelievable fighter. And, you know, people are going to call him boring and the main event disappointing, which I get. Listen, if you're mad about this main event not being, you know, entertaining, do not be mad at Merab. I thought Merab was really entertaining this fight. He's really, you know, doing wacky stuff with his hands, circling around a bit. He also gave O'Malley plenty of time to strike. Merab stood on the feet with him for a long time in this fight. And, you know, his grappling, I think, super fun. The way he gets takedowns, how he never gets tired, I think is just so fascinating to behold. And such something that I think all of us should really appreciate. But yeah, if you're going to blame anything, you know, if you're going to complain about this fight being boring, go in O'Malley's comment section on Instagram and shit on him or something. Go shit on him on Twitter, not Merab. Merab was the only entertaining fighter in the main event. So I don't get why people shit on Merab for being boring. Everyone needs to be shit on O'Malley, which I'm sure people are, but I've seen Merab get a kind of, you know, oh God, what a terrible champion. We got to watch this guy as champion. I don't know, guys. Merab versus Umar Nurmagomedov is a banger of a fight. And we're going to get into some of what the fans on Twitter have been saying about, you know, the champions right now in a sec. But let's go to Sean O'Malley, who got exposed in this fight. He got beat pillar to post in this fight. It was an embarrassing performance. And this fight was so important for Sean O'Malley's resume in his career because this was the coming out party for Sean. I know he was already the champion, but when you look at his resume, everyone he beat before Peter Yan, actually no, my apologies, everyone he beat before Aljamain Sterling, because he did not beat Peter Yan. That was a brutal robbery. He debatably lost all 3 rounds in that fight. They're not in the UFC anymore. They're not UFC caliber. So I'm not even going to consider any of that as part of his resume. So let's look at his resume right now. He has a loss to Peter Yan. I don't give a shit if it says a win. That's a loss. I don't care what anyone says. That is a loss. Him and his coach both know that. He has a win over an injured, forced to cut weight on short notice, Aljamain Sterling, make a quick turnaround after a hard-fought 5-round fight with Henry Cejudo. So that win has an asterisk. If they fought again, I'm picking Aljamain Sterling like I did the first time. And he's a win over a guy who, I went in the last video I made about this fight, I went through the top 15. I think Marlon Vera beats 1 to 2 guys in top 15. So he's a win over a guy who's borderline top 15. I love Cheeto, by the way. He's not that good. So and he got dog walked by Merab for 5 straight rounds. I don't care they won the 5th. It was 5 straight rounds of dog walking. That's what Merab did to him. So this guy's resume it's terrible. He has one guy, I mean, it's Marlon Vera and Aljamain Sterling. So he has 1 win over a top 15 caliber guy, in my opinion, who was hurt, who was forced to cut weight after a 5-round fight on a short turnaround. The Dana White put his fingers on the scale in that fight. That's his best win, Aljamain Sterling. And I'd pick Aljamain Sterling to beat Sean O'Malley if they fought again. This guy's resume is garbage. It's garbage. And I think Sean O'Malley's still elite bantamweight. I think he's a very good fighter. But his resume is garbage. He got exposed brutally tonight. Dana White has to be livid. You could tell he was really pissed at the press conference. Oh my God, he was already making excuses like he looked flat. No, man, Sean O'Malley was just broken, mentally broken, physically. He just couldn't do anything. It was an awful performance from him, but it's because he got exposed. He got brutally exposed, and then he looked flat. He got exposed. So, Sean O'Malley, just awful performance. His resume is absolute dog shit. And it's crazy. It's crazy that Sean O'Malley's been an undisputed champion with the resume he has, which is 1 good win that is still also, he has 1 good win in a fight that if they fought again, I'd pick him to lose because he fought a guy not at 100%. And you got a guy like Dustin Poirier, who's never been an undisputed champ. I mean, Dustin Poirier's resume in the last year is better than Sean O'Malley's. The last 2 years is better than Sean O'Malley's entire resume, and he's never been undisputed. It's just crazy when you think about this type of stuff. That was random, but you guys get what I'm trying to say here. But let's get into what some other people are saying on Twitter, because we discussed the fight. There's not really much more to discuss. Merab just beat the shit out of him. I know Merab's kind of, saying he wants Davison Figueiredo, but he's going to fight Umar. Merab said he's going to fight, he doesn't choose his fights. He's going to fight who Dana White wants him to fight. He might say that Umar doesn't deserve it, or, he should fight Figueiredo, because I think Merab is pissed that Umar gets 1 ranked win and gets a title shot, while Merab beats Jose Aldo, Henry Cejudo, Peter Yan, and, oh my God, I'm totally blanking on a name right now, I think. But you guys get my point. Like, I think he's pissed that, Umar Nurmagomedov just gets a title shot after 1 good ranked win, and Merab had to do it 4 times and doesn't get a title shot. And I get it. I get it. I don't blame him. I'd be pissed about that too. But so Merab gonna go say that, Figueiredo should get it. But guys, they're gonna give him Umar. They're probably gonna try and make Merab do a short turnaround because they don't want him as champion, which is just, I'll get into that in a sec too. But he's gonna fight Umar. So if anyone worried about Merab's gonna duck Umar, don't be worried. We're not dealing with Colby Covington. Merab's gonna fight Umar. He's gonna fight whatever Dana White tells him to fight. So he might say some dumb stuff about it. Don't be worried though. Merab will fight Umar Nurmagomedov, and that fight's a banger. But I'm seeing on Twitter, everyone's saying, so look, this is a terrible era of UFC. Look at these champions. And I see a picture of Merab, Bilal Muhammad, and Dricus du Plessis. I'm serious. You guys are like, look at these champions. They're terrible. We're shitting on Dricus du Plessis, one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC. A guy who literally is what Sean Strickland thinks he is and goes to war every time. A man who's the best trash talker I've ever seen in my life. In a way, I think he's almost better than Conor McGregor. He might not have the one-liners to be as funny as Conor McGregor, but he's making Sean Strickland break and cry in podcasts and making Sean Strickland beg for forgiveness in Dricus' DMs. He's making Israel Adesanya cry and then beats him, ending the reign of Adesanya. I know Adesanya wasn't champion. I shouldn't say reign. Ending the Adesanya era in the middleweight division. And we're shitting on this guy. And then Bilal Muhammad, which versus Leon Edwards. Yeah, I get it wasn't a barn burner. That was a good fight. And Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Like, these people are like, these guys are bad champions. Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov is a banger of a fight. Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov is a banger of a fight. And if you guys oh, we got wrestlers on top. Why are you watching MMA? I'm not trying to sound like some hardcore ass fan who's like, oh, you got to enjoy women's MMA and stuff. I'm not saying any of that. You got hardcore fans who watch some of these dog shit fight nights, and they're like, oh man, there were 4 finishes on this main card of the fight night. Keep in mind, all these guys are probably not UFC caliber. That was an underrated card right there. Like, I'm glad I didn't do anything on my Saturday and watch that. Like, there's hardcore fans that say that, which I think is really weird. It's like, guys, like, just because there are some finishes doesn't make the fight night good. Like, we want relevant fights. We want meaningful fights. So, I'm not trying to sound like some hardcore fan like that. I'm just an MMA fan at the end of the day. And if you have such an issue of wrestlers being champions, and you think Merab Umar's a bad fighter, Bilal Shavkat's a bad fighter, Dricus versus Whitaker 2, or Hamzat's a bad fight. This is mainly targeting to the Bilal Shavkat and Merab Umar. Go watch something else. On the same night of the Sphere, for all the guys who like, oh, I don't want a wrestler champ, you guys chose to tune in to watch a wrestler main event at the Sphere when you could have just watched Canelo fight. You could just go watch kickboxing or WWE. You could go watch all that. So I just don't understand how you're an MMA fan. And obviously, you can root for fighters. If let's say you're a big Sean O'Malley fan and you're disappointed that he lost and you're mad and you don't like Merab because he beat your favorite fighter, that's different. Okay, that's completely different. But like acting like Merab versus Umar is not a banger matchup, I just don't get it. Why are you an MMA fan then? Go watch boxing. Go watch WWE. Go watch kickboxing. If you only care about stand-up, you are watching the wrong sport. As I said, I'm just speaking the truth here. And don't get me wrong. Most of the time, I enjoy good striking matches over wrestling and stuff like that. I get it. But I also love all the, the different facets of mixed martial arts. That's what makes UFC the best sport in the world, in my opinion. You have so many ways to win. So I just don't get, I said, if you think Merab, Umar, and Bilal Shavkat are you're like, God, these guys are champions. These are horrible champions. Like, why are these our champions? Like, these matchups suck. Just go watch a different sport. I just don't get it. And I saw Dricus on some of these lists about shitting on the current UFC champions. How the hell do you shit on the best trash talker maybe I've ever seen in the UFC? And yeah, he might look goofy, but one of the most entertained fighters in the UFC. Dricus Du Plessis is such an entertained fighter. He made a Sean Strickland fight entertaining. That's how entertaining it is. That's all I got to say on that topic. But it's just, I just don't get, I don't get it, guys. I don't get people's issues with this. I just don't. But it is what it is. Fans are always going to be like that. Twitter's filled with incels. But lastly, I want to talk about the Sphere and how it translates to the TV briefly. I thought it looked really good. Now, all the chapters and stuff, I don't really, the Mexican history, I thought looked beautiful. I thought it was really cool. I don't really care about it. I don't really know what I'm looking at necessarily. And I kind of do, but I don't get I'm trying to think of a word or something. I care more about how cool it looks other than the Mexican heritage, because it's just, that's all I'm going to say. I love the theme. It looked great, but I don't really care about the substance and the context of the chapters they show, but they look fantastic though. And the Sphere, I thought it really translated well. I thought the backgrounds of the fights were amazing. When they have Merab and O'Malley and the holograms when they're walking out, I thought that was amazing. It was beautiful. It didn't interrupt the fighting experience when you're watching it, but when they zoomed out and stuff, it looked amazing. So, Dana White spent $20 million on this. His gate was $22. He'll flex that. It's the biggest gate ever. Keep in mind, guys, ticket prices start at $3,000. They went down to $700. And his gate was $23 million, and he spent $20 million on this. The Sphere was an absolute catastrophe for Dana White. I'll tell you what, his investors are definitely not happy about this. So if you see Dana White flexing the gate and stuff, that means absolutely nothing. When you look at the money he invested or put into the Sphere, there's a reason why Riyadh Season was sponsoring a Mexican Independence Day event, which just made no sense at all. But Sphere experience was great. I loved it. It looked really good. Definitely. It was probably pretty hard to translate that to TV, and I thought the whole producer crew or the crew that runs that stuff did a really good job. But that's what I thought about the Sphere. Merab dominates Sean O'Malley. Dana White's probably really pissed. People got issues with wrestlers being champions and they still watch MMA. Makes no sense. But but let me know what you guys thought about the Sphere atmosphere, the main event between Sean O'Malley and Merab. How do you think Merab Umar goes? Who do you think Sean O'Malley should fight? Actually, let me say this. I want Sean O'Malley versus Peter Yan too. Book that rematch right now. I forgot to mention this earlier. That rematch needs to happen. Run that back. See run that back, because that last fight was a robbery. We need to see that again. But guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you guys thought about UFC Noche main event and how the Sphere looked overall in the comments below. We'll see you guys on the next one.